Yeah, I had like in mind like breaking down like our experiences, or like breaking down CE5 and for the public to understand it better.
Uh, okay,
It's anything.
okay.
We can bring in a lot of insight on this, man.
I don't know, like I don't want to go like maybe too deep on it. I don't know if you feel me like 100% like deep. I don't want to go, but maybe we can go like in like just from the top like what's our general maybe opinion with this intention of humans with making contact. And maybe we can take it like from ancient maybe cultures like Egyptians, Sumerians, Incas, um, you know, all the Aztecs.
Oh yeah, yeah.
All these cultures had in common all these characteristics like the pyramids, the hieroglyphics, the way they could like in some way establish their deities. We could go
Yeah,
like
yeah, I feel you.
that way and then bring it more from like to the actuality and to maybe understand us more just like individual beings, not as maybe a whole species commitment.
Right. Yeah, and I also want to talk about like the threat, like people think that they are a threat to us. You know what I mean? Because like I feel like that narrative is going way too far.
Okay, yeah. Nice.
Yeah, like because that's all connected, man. Like I don't want to get the wrong idea on what it really is. So tell me when you want to start, like my friend. I'll start.
He's here already?
Yeah. My friend's here. Friend's here. Yeah.
Okay, so just tell me how do you like to start or how do you want to start it?
I introduce you as REM, and then we're talking, and that's it. Say the
Okay.
episode and three.
Yeah, you can introduce me maybe as
Like
a friend
introduction.
of yours here from Florida, something, I don't know.
Yeah, I feel you. I got you.
Okay.
I'm telling my friends now.
Okay, nice.
Welcome back to the podcast of episode 3 of Xterior. Today here with Rim and uh and I want to about the things that have been going on UFO and the thing like relate to everything that relates to times that are tied already to this stuff. Like honestly feel about that.
Hey, bro, like, for instance, hello to everybody, to all the audience out there just listening to us. Well, this when we start talking about like the in general like the UFO phenomenon, like people mostly, well, I think, I don't know, maybe what you could think. I think like the first thing that they could come to their minds is all this maybe ridiculized theme we're making about the UFO itself. I don't know if I can explain myself. Like how people have like, I don't know, like in some way unbelieved the things that the UFO community may say, you know?
Definitely. Um, it's just like, for instance, people really want to connect things that aren't really connected. Like when especially the narrative threat that posting around the media, like not know what's going on and things like that, and everybody's like wild stuff. So if you're not really introduced to kinds of things, you're going to believe that is a threat because you never heard of it, or because of the government has pressing kinds of information for over 7 years. You know, it's really hard to like make this something that can really understand.
Yeah, I think that that's more what has been going on. Sorry, like yeah, just like you say, like it's been like an unfunctionary chain of information that through the time we just come to the ideal of, I don't know, this is a threat, this is just or this is not real. Um, you know, all these kind of things that although like media, TV, government itself, like you're referring, they could like in some way push it down, to the truth.
Right. You see, like, try, you see, but when it comes to things like, okay, for instance, Stephen Greer and CE5 and all these other things, you see, there's deep meaning and truth to all stuff. It's just if you're to find it yourself, other people, to really what's actually going on, is saying that something like, because it's not this planet does not mean it's a threat. It means it's just that they're just from somewhere else, just now observing, you know?
Okay, I can kind of feel it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, well, um, I don't know how can you like, or well, how do you explain maybe, or well, please explain like how do you see like this threat and like this threat, sorry, that you can maybe conclude we are seeing CU5 and all these things.
Okay, my conclusion for that is basically like, okay, if they are truly a threat to us, then how come they don't see anything towards us that was a threat? Or because I feel like this, like if they were truly a threat, then would it just destroyed us already? Like, or like they don't really just care, like, oh, humans, and then just destroy us. Wouldn't make any sense for them to do that if we are able to contact them in a peaceful manner and understand that anything them is possible. Because you see, there are the negative is the positive. The type of negative thing that we have as humans, we have nuclear bombs, nuclear weapons. There is a UFO in that facility because it knows that can or completely destroy this planet. Or that's why they disarm missiles. The Pentagon has actually exposed that disarm missiles, disarm nuclear bombs to keep the planet safe from harm.
Yeah, I feel you. You see, for instance, do you know like for certain approximately how old is the universe?
Yeah, everything. Yeah, because everything's connected.
No, no, no. How old is the universe?
Oh, how old? My bad. Yeah, yeah. Like, well, I would say it was for here. I feel like it's always.
The universe itself, I think, Elon Musk gave the data in the podcast also. It was, if I don't misremember, it was 18.6 million years, billion years, sorry. So if you compare that timeline of 18.6 billion years to, what do you want, maybe 8,000 years that humanity itself has been present here on planet Earth, well, you can see that our existence itself is just meaningless in front of the the universe itself. You feel me? It's impossible for us to think, or well,
Yeah, yeah, no,
not impossible, but mathematically, it could be in some way impossible for us, and a little bit egocentric. I think that we still think that we could be the only intelligent species on the universe, and that any other species wouldn't have evolved or maybe grown first than us. As the way that I see it, we humans ourselves, and this is, and I don't want to lose like the trigger with what we were talking about, that about the threat. We could maybe see them as a threat. Well, as the way that I'm seeing at this time things, uh, if you kind of think it, humans are the only being on Earth that are per se out of the normal of the beings here on Earth. We are the only being on the entire planet that has a conscious, that can use its hands for doing something, for maybe building a weapon, for building just I don't know, a knife, all these kind of things that we only humans do. But in some other ways, we are the only animal or the only being that has only hair on its head. We are the only being that has the thumb. Like, we are the only being that has back problems because the gravity itself. We are the only animal that gets burned by the sun. Any other animal here on Earth doesn't get burned by the sun. We are the only being that needs to get this, per se. I don't know. I forgot the name. Like this shit that it's white and you put on your skin to protect from the sun.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like, I feel where you're coming from, but then at the same time, sorry. What about this?
Sorry, what?
Oh, sorry. Were you about to say something?
Yeah, I forgot like the name of something that I was talking about, but it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, no, I feel yeah, I feel you on that, but like, oh yeah, like I mean, there is the part of melanation occurs as well, like when you're under the, you get melanin. Um, but like, even though we burn, people that actually like will turn red under and things like that. And some people melanin under the skin and turn them into like and we're all started from I mean, to the people under the sun were melanated sun, and that's why they have their skin tone. Um, you get what I mean, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, like for instance, ancient like the Egyptians. like were they were under the sun, and all they really was just the sky. Like they didn't really have no place or to go or this, and they were just in their environment, hands of where they were. And remember, and they were really close to the equator, and everything was, heat. And at night also turns cold. But like as well, the ancients were rooted into the sun. Horus, like the pineal gland, uh, everything that aligned with stars. The pyramids of Orion, like Orion, stuff like that. And it really amazes me that they were that advanced into creating, I believe, a power structure of an energy from the planet itself, and I do believe it was influenced by other terrestrial beings.
Yeah, I truly believe that too. If you see, are there cultures like the Aztecs, the Incas, the Egyptians that you were telling me, um, the Sumerians, all these cultures, and they're like the main culture, like the cultures where humanity basically started. Those cultures painted or maybe could see their gods or their deities like with these big heads and with all these like maybe physical characteristics that today we can relate to NET.
Right. Because I feel like it's all related. Everything is related, especially to the ancients. Because I feel like they were vibrating at a frequency at the time. And just like, and I do believe that they had contact with extraterrestrials. And the evidence is everywhere when you really think about it. When you turn back at the writings, the pictures of them doing contact beings with those big heads and stuff like that. Like uh, and it's always just like hidden in sight.
Yeah, I feel you. Yeah, that's that's completely a thing. Also, like they could understand or they could maybe kind of establish that these deities are, or maybe these forces, these energies, these vibes we're referring to, maybe kind of related all to nature and all these cultures that we are talking about, they could relate it up to nature, fire, the sky, the sun, the moon, and they could
Right.
see more beyond per se. They could see beyond what what about just like the physical or the terrestrial world is. Like for example, the the Aztec calendar. You feel me? The Aztec calendar.
Yeah.
It was written like it wasn't like the end of the world, but it was when the world was going to change, where this cycle or this per se phase of the world was gonna end, and it didn't say 2012; it said 2021.
Right. Yeah, because
So
of the into the
yeah,
yeah, according to the calendar, we are actually in 2021, which is pretty insane. Knowing that in 2012, like now, what really makes sense is that 21 is really the one where everything is
sorry,
down, crashing, and
yeah. I'm wrong. It was like it was 2012 where the things were gonna change, but the thing was we changed our our system from the Gregoriani to to the actual or something like that. But I think it was around the 18 uh, 1870 something, I think, that we moved like 8 years. Uh, we advanced like 8 years with this change of calendar, and there's the 8 years of that we kind of lost. Uh, and yeah, like we would be right now in the year 2012. Yo, you're muted.
Bro, can you like what you said? Like not all of it. I got cut out. All I heard was the last part.
Oh, sorry, bro. What did you heard?
All I heard was that basically like why we're in 2012. Like, what was the explanation?
Yeah, that we changed our calendar from the Gregorian to the actual, and we when we changed that calendar, it was I think in the 18th something, uh, 1870 something. I don't remember exactly the date. But yeah, so we when we changed the calendar, we advanced 8 years.
Right. Yeah, because that was the first original calendar that which was the
Exactly.
it got changed to whatever it is now.
Yeah, and then we moved 8 years, so this would be well, not this year. 2020 would be 2012.
Right.
Yeah,
So that 2021 is 20.
2021 is just like day one of the new calendar of the new human age.
Oh, okay. And amen. Yeah. And I feel like the Incas, Mayans, the Aztecs, all of them had everything. Like especially with the Egyptians and like all of them had ET. I feel like extraterrestrial tech, and that's most all had in common. Because then like the tribes, the animals were talk about the star people. Their connection towards we are basically doing now with the stars, going out, practicing close encounters of the film. And I feel like those are our answers when we do action in an establishment with these.
For instance, let's say that these beings we're talking about, since the Mayans, the Aztecs, Sumerians, Egyptians, whatever, since they were per se having their little experiment here on Earth, and they were sorry, my dog, and they were kind of like I don't know, um, doing something here. Why would they go? Why wouldn't they still be here? You feel me? Why wouldn't
Yeah.
they just will be here still doing the same? Maybe, but doing it from the top, We're not only 15, 20 civilizations now across the earth. We are millions of people all around the world in governments, in social pyramids that right now we are just established. The world has changed.
Right.
Why wouldn't they have maybe evolved or changed with it? in a way that, in fact, they could maybe still be here or still be doing the things or guiding people the way they want to, or maybe the human race itself, but just in a different way that they used to.
Yeah, and right, and that's how I feel exactly. I feel like they've been what you said about the guy was that I feel like they're still guiding us every day. Why would they stop just because ancient a long ago? That doesn't make any sense. Like for a species that's from another planet in the world, why would they just simultaneously stop at the same time and say, "Okay, not mess with this planet anymore. Let's go somewhere else and just leave." Right? When at the same time, like since ancient times, now times they're still showing, they're still here. They do not. If you are connected with them,
Yeah,
how you and because you're now connecting back with who they were, who they are.
yeah, and I can agree. Like, because maybe you could say like, yeah, but society or humanity itself, like right now, it's not longer what it used to be in that ages, in that ancient times. But what I think that it like kind of connects or connected people in ancient
Right.
and also actual times, it was maybe this spirituality that humans are capable of. This whole, or maybe this full spirituality, this real spirituality that we can achieve just that as individuals. Maybe through the meditation, through CFI, through maybe some people could say through psychedelics, you know?
Yeah, no, definitely. And that's the thing, man. Uh, it always it always ought to be a cycle with race. You know what I mean? Like when people are rebuilding everything, like this happened many times. Or what I mean? Um, like for instance, like I feel like the human has already been doing these kind for a very long time now, and like we're still stuck in the same where everybody's still trapped in their own like, 3D consciousness, and we are remaining stagnant. We're spiritually growing unless you grow yourself. Like we have to learn how to spiritually grow into another of understanding and knowing. But like you have to. The thing is, this is not force of nobody. This is something that if you choose to do,
Like
it's
what?
all a given.
Like what? What? I didn't understand the last part.
Like okay, like you can choose to do something like that you okay like the next day you want to somewhere you choose to go you choose to do anything every thing has its own kind of like destination on where you do like with your decision you know
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
so choose to become awakened in this life that path but if you don't you choose to do something else it's still your path.
Yeah. You see the way as I see life, and I take this analogy to any scenario, like per se, for instance, uh, let's say that a meteorite right now would fall from the sky and go directly to your house. It's completely inevitable that you're gonna die. You cannot do anything. I cannot do anything, and it both either way happens to me. Like if right now a lightning just strikes at me, I
Right.
cannot do anything. I'm gonna die. You know, it's just the way life it is. If tomorrow I'm walking down the street and maybe an idiot just forgets to look to the road and starts texting and then just crushes me, well, it just happened, bro. It's just life itself. You can take that to any aspect. Life it is just as it is. You cannot do anything to control it. In life, you're gonna have only two kinds of situations: the one that you can control and the one that you can't control. If you live worried about both, about what you can do and don't do nothing, and about what you can do but still worry about it, you're gonna live shit. But instead, you just accept life as the way that you can say like, okay, I'm completely conscious that I cannot do nothing about it, and I'm gonna abstain, but and it's also not gonna affect me because I know that it's not gonna do anything, or that I cannot do anything to move it from the way it is. Well, you can have life easy, because just like life would be, or life in that way, it would be just moving forward, making what you just do, what you please, what you really want, and leaving the past behind. Don't ever minding about if you did it right or wrong, because it's just life. You're always gonna learn something, although it's good or it's bad. Although you die, although the meteor comes down, although the lightning strikes on me, maybe I'm gonna take something really good from this life, some learning, some experience, anything, and translate that to any situation of your daily life, like anything. And if you see life that way, it becomes really easy.
Definitely, like life is like flowing water, and whatever you is whatever passes on the current, you know. So it's like, man, at the same time, it's like it's very sad that things do happen in this life we cannot control. But who said life was able to be controlled in the first? Because nature is not being, because the thing is, even if we try to control nature with equipment and science and harp and all this stuff, like it's always going to you're always going to change something within the current of the flowing water of everything happening around it. And I feel like like anything could just now, and I could like like get by an asteroid or like I couldn't control it, just happen. So like what you said, like it's easier to just keep everything in a flow movement, because if not, like everything is just gonna down. You're just gonna hate everything, stress yourself about everything that little bit going on. You know what I mean? And I'm glad I saw my fear of death. So like death, when you death, it's like the same like oh you, it's like you don't want to go anywhere or now, or because like you're gonna something is gonna happen when you step outside your house. You know, so it's
Yeah.
like it's the same that because like I said, I believe energy moves on, transfers into anything that it wants when you or because I believe knowledge that we are speaking about, we will for it and move on with
Yeah, completely. Completely. If you start seeing life that way, it's much more easy to just flow with it and just go with it, for and like just afterwards you're gonna achieve what you could call happiness, or something near happiness.
right.
True.
This is the
Yeah.
artist. The art is letting you know.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, and that is letting go of all that stuff, all that negativity. Like, just stay positive, even to the very end. Like me, when I want to die with a smile on my face, knowing that I'm able to experience this life. Knowing
That
that
you had
whatever
nothing.
happened to me, like, or
You wanna do you wanna an
hey,
advice like every
yeah,
single night, and let's give the audience, if they're still paying attention, this little advice. Every night you go to bed, and every night that you wake up, do it with one thing on mind. With day, I have nothing on debt for you. You had nothing for nothing per se pendant to do. You had nothing loose to do. You did what you had to do, and you gave that day everything that you could. Every night that you go to bed, just say that to the day, and every time that you wake up, say that to yourself, that you're gonna make an improve, or per se maybe motivate yourself for that that day at night. You say to the day that you have nothing else to give to him. I think that the day that I die, or maybe the day that we die, if we do that shit every single day, when we die, we're gonna regret for absolutely nothing, and we're gonna die happiest way possible.
man, that's very beautiful, bro. I mean, like that. That's honestly very, because like I said, man, like if all these stuff weren't here for us to be already created and fabricated stuff that they created to think that we need, or think, oh no, like, oh, but just because we something, or just because we need thing. In reality, bro, it started with nothing either. You know what I mean? Everything just happened. So like, really get where you're coming from, advice, and like I hope people do take it, because honestly, what do you gotta regret in this that life haven't gave you? Life itself,
You could, if you see way, if you see life that way, I think that you are absolutely from the other side, or at the other side. Because if you see just like, I'm just thankful for life itself, for giving me life, I think that you start appreciating everything at a whole different level. You feel me? If you appreciate your own life
Yeah, no,
in
definitely.
that way, if you contemplate your own existence as the best thing that has literally ever happened to you, yo, you're gonna see everything just as what it is, as maybe a gift, as just an opportunity, a new opportunity of doing something, of talking to somebody, of going somewhere, of meeting someone, of tasting something, of dancing, of just singing, or just maybe have a good time in your cars, smoking, just whatever you want to call it, but just life itself, you're gonna enjoy it much more, because you see the
Hell
real
yeah.
things as they could be from behind the action, as just like per se the scene from a movie, and you're just living it. You feel me?
Definitely, man. Because no, bro, like nothing is what it seems. So it's just already. So like, take yourself out that box and just realizing, just start looking around the environment, start realizing all the things you can possibly do in this life that impossible or you think it's not possible. Like to me, everything's possible. And the more you look at it through the lens of per se, like you see, because me, I see everyone's perspective, even the tiniest bug. Like realize that like there's something, something way bigger than us, and there is something that holding us all together, this one conscious. Um, and it's like, and I appreciate it all because it's like without we wouldn't even be here speaking about these things.
Yeah. Just I think that
Like
just
people, you gotta
maybe
realize.
landing these things, or maybe just taking all this. It's they're not maybe you could call it religious side, but just the spiritual side is if you see your own existing and your own life as maybe with this sense that we've been talking about. I think that your whole purpose of life, your whole or your main purpose of existing changes, and it changes to the way that it makes you more complete, or it makes you more you, because you're just doing whatever the fuck you want to do, and you're okay with the results that it's giving you, because you understand that it's not only the action that you're putting, that you also depend to the reaction of the world itself or the person you have in front, that then you're gonna have the result or this thing that you can materialize to your feelings. Feel?
Yeah, no, definitely, because because everything manifests in reality already for you. Whatever you are thinking is already manifesting within this life. Like whether it doesn't happen now or the next day, like everything will come as soon as you really appreciating what the universe gives you.
Yeah.
Like I said, like you see, if I were to look at if I were to look this planet from a distant star, it wouldn't even look physical to the eye. It would literally look like a cell. So, and we are vibrating at a very dead frequency that makes us physical. So the reason why people feel sad or this or that, because since we are trapped in these bodies already, it makes us feel limited. But the thing is, I think that limitation of self illusion, because of the fact that there's consciousness that's limited to every.
Yeah, completely. Like you say from time to time, everything is connected.
Definitely.
But yeah, so like
What's up?
in some way, how could you conclude what we've what we've achieved, or maybe we've we've think today?
I think I think that everything that we said, bro, like all has to do with the love and appreciation of knowing that we are, you know, because imagine if we were just stuck in a state of nothingness, even though even in nothing, there's something in it. But like we are that point in this reality. We can become something to do something within in order to achieve where we want to go. So, I say it's all love at the end. I appreciate life for what because I feel like if there was something better or not better, I feel like at the end matter. I just feel do what you think is right for yourselves.
I share what you were saying about this this sense of, of, of not having nothing, or literally being nothingness. But but I think that eventually the universe itself, one day, its energy, one day it's just gonna end. One thing, I think that someday the universe is just gonna be space of nothingness, of just miles and miles and miles and miles and miles of dark, of completely darkness, nothingness, complete. But this is if,
I mean, I
if
understand.
while we grow and we kind of evolve, we force ourselves to be better persons every day. I think that we can individually achieve much more things that we think we are capable out of this human plane.
Definitely. And you see, when you say universe will turn into, I feel like even through that nothing, it's still created for something to, And I feel like the cycle of the universe.
Yeah,
That
completely.
once there's
I agree.
it will come back. It will
I
come
agree.
back.
I agree. I agree. Eventually,
Because like
somehow, someone will create another universe. Not maybe a force, an energy, a conscious. I don't know. But eventually, I think that while this universe runs out of consciousness to rule it or to direct it, another one will emerge with new consciousness, new energies, new vibes to give new universe with new species, new stories to tell.
yeah, man, I definitely believe because I feel like universe is infinite in itself. I feel like
The universe
even if it did
is
turn to
not
dark
infinite.
and other,
The universe is always expanding. That's why the synonym per se would be infinite. But the universe is not infinite, it's just always expanding. There's always some conscious energy, whatever you want to call it, that I was referring, creating new space, new consciousness, new life. As some species have the goal of just maybe controlling other beings, maybe just living life, maybe just there are others that are, or their hobby is to create life, to create conscious, to create new things, new material life.
right? And I feel like what I mean by infinite as well. I understand that the universe is expanding, but what I also by infinite is that everything that is here through energy is a source already. It is already that are made up through consciousness and through its own energy for it to be sustained. That it's expanding, but that expansion will forever keep being new things.
Yeah, completely.
And this is why I'm just saying that in a way that it's ending, but it's also creating. but that's why I say it's infinite.
Okay. Yeah. Agree with that.
Because I feel like wasn't okay if it wasn't infinite and it was only ending, everything would just be then there wouldn't be no new creation. It would just only be expanding into whatever creating, you know?
Yeah, I feel you. I feel you.
Yeah. So what do you feel about this, man? Like overall the conversation.
Today days we gotta as maybe young generations we gotta learn to connect with all these things that we've been talking maybe about and maybe start seeing life in a different way. Like in maybe you don't have to establish this all these thoughts that we've been talking like certain and just pragmatic. You just have to
Yeah.
kind of start seeing things as they could really be and open your mind to new things and to the possibility of, or the chance of we as humans could have the chance or the capabilities of communicating with something else that only terrestrial beings.
Yeah, man. I had my own share of, like experiences with these beings as well. And I have that every each time I with them, I personally feel like I personally feel like I really am connecting with the people that I was already before that I be them, and whatever we are rediscovering is that we potentially was with them and always will be.
Yeah, completely.
Especially you create an establishment, right? A purpose. Instead of because like I said, instead of recording, it's mostly making contact. It's really about, I mean, first thing like you're supposed to establish the connection with. One day you'll eventually meet each other if you are serious about the cause and the mutual agreement and bond and connection with. Oh,
Yeah,
I
I
have
have no doubt about it.
definitely.
Yeah, bro, just something else. Just wanna thank you for inviting me here to share a little bit with your with your with your audience and having just a little bit of time to talk with me.
Yeah, me too, man. Like I had a lot of fun, man. Like fun, bro.
Anytime,
This,
really.
yeah, man, bro. Like you want to come and join the podcast? Like I always like for real, man.
Like regularly.
Yeah, or any time really. I have, I do say I do it on weekdays, but like it can really be time, man.
I'll be glad to
Just
join again with you and discuss more things because I'm certainly sure that there's an infinity of much more things that we could abord or talk about this theme and we just could do 150 episodes. Feel me?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, well, but
Yeah,
yeah,
because
man.
we have a lot to
Anytime.
speak about, man. Man. Well, today is the end of the podcast. Like once again, man. Exterior knowledge.